Hello and welcome to more Do You Even Creepypasta, and I haven't done one of these videos in a long time, but I think it's time that I continue the hunt for horrible creepypastas so we can get this garbage banned off the internet so that nobody ever has to watch these or read them or listen to them ever again. Because literally I don't think anybody actually wants to read this. And today we'll be reading the story of MaRIo 2, because original names are very clearly strong with this author. And as always, I'll be having some footage of Super Mario Bros. 2 going in the background, which is not actually my footage. I'll leave the link to the description. There'll be a link in the description of the original video. But as always, any typos that I read are not my own and are completely part of the story. So let's just get it on with it. Sadly, about a week ago, my younger brother took his own life. Yeah, just as I did after reading the story. Our father had died about a month before, and I had believed my brother was depressed without him. They were quite attached to each other, after all. The day before he killed himself, he came to my house and gave me our father's handed-down games and consoles. We were all such gaming nerds. I loved the original 3 Mario Bros. Games. Unfortunately, I was unable to find the first one, the giant stack of NES cartridges. However, I did come across Super Mario Bros. 2. I could tell my funny man father who printed off a label he must have made somewhere, because there were a few things different about it. For one, the title was misspelled as Super Mario Bros. 2, with random capital letters in the Mario for some reason, because nobody knows why. I just asked the creator if you really want to know. In the picture of Mario on the cover, Mario had a toad's head and was carrying Birdo's head by the bow instead of a turnip. Yeah, my father had a rather dark sense of humor. And I have a rather dark sense of Down syndrome after listening to the story, but, because, let's just see like this. You missed a period. Or a comma, one of the two. I popped the game into the NES. For nostalgia, I decided to let the game tell me the story about Mario's dream. Only I read something else. After Mario suffered a terrible fate, he decided to get revenge. He's become insane with rage, and is going to take the life of every mortal who crosses his path. That was rather disturbing. Unlike the story, because the story isn't actually scary at all, but, YOLO, right? I guess my brother had hacked it somehow. He knew how. He was a huge computer nerd. I went on. The game did not give me the choice of a character. It simply threw me into the game as Mario, who, just like on the cover of the cartridge, had a toad's head instead of his own. There was no music, and I didn't jump in the sky, except for the fact that you don't jump in the sky, you just simply spawn in the sky and start falling, but yeah, so I think you might want to actually go play the game, because I think you might have remembered it wrong. I was at the beginning of World 1-1, only things were a little different. The background sky was black, and all the enemies were replaced with angry-looking toads. This was weird. Each toad angrily charged at Mario. That didn't even have anything to do with, when the toads touched Mario, they turned into skeletons and crumbled to the ground. I was uneased by this. My favorite game was this unsettling game. Well, I'm not exactly sure why you're uneased by the fact that you like these unsettling games, but I think you might want to go find a new game to play then. I guess my brother must have been very bored. Just like you probably were when you were creating the story. I decided to see how the rest of the game was going to turn out. Okay then, great job. I reached the end of the level where you fight Birdo. She looked as if someone else had gotten to her before me. She was bruised and bloody. I had some flesh and bones showing. I was horrified, to say at least. And, I'm horrified the story got released to the internet and didn't get banned sooner. A text box showed up. No, not a text box, a text box. Don't ask me what that is, though, because I actually don't even know what that means. Please. Mario stepped a little closer on his own. No, I don't. I'm not. He made another step. Why am I here? Another small step. I'm not who you think I... Mario pounced her. He began to ruthlessly beat her while she screamed, realistically. That's not English, but okay. Sounds that can't be made on an 8-bit console. Yeah, see, even you realize they can't be made on an 8-bit console, therefore you just admitted to hallucinations. Probably want to stop taking those drugs. Blood spewed and showered with each his Mario made. I think you might have missed a word there. The last time you hit her, which he charged up for, her head rolled off. Mario threw it off his toad head and replaced it with Birdo's. Another text box appeared. But you were one of us. You've angered us. You'll regret this, Mario. The sky turned red. I heard what sounded like distant crying of a woman in the background, accompanied by what sounded like multiple evil laughs, played backwards all at once. Wow, this playing sounds backwards, making it scary, is completely original these days, isn't it? A demonic, deep voice was heard behind it all. Chills weren't just down my spine, they were everywhere. My whole room got colder, it seemed. And first of all, no, you can't start a sentence like that. Or more likely, you can, you're just doing it wrong. And yeah, I think you might just want to go, like, turn up the heater dial in your house, because I think some retard might have just walked in and turned it off. I had goosebumps all over, which we already established. The sounds were growing louder, before suddenly stopping. Yeah, where doesn't work in that sentence, nice try though. Mario's Birdo head flew off. He still lived headless. He turned to the screen and began to softly sob. I wanted to turn off the NES so badly, but something compelled me to leave it on. That something being your Down syndrome. His cry grew louder. No, his cry is not, that simply doesn't work in the English language. I think you might want to go back to, like, some other language where things like that are allowed. As he cried, an army of toads began to march in from the left of the screen. The noise from earlier resumed. This time they were loud, and the woman was screaming instead of crying. I was sure my TV speakers were about to bust. Only it almost sounded like the sounds weren't coming from the speakers. It's like they were coming from all around me. Yeah, we already established that you've been taking drugs and hallucinating, so obviously it's not coming from the speakers anymore. The laughter and deep voice stopped. However, the woman's screams began to strobe. I don't know what that means, but okay. It was almost like she was being violently tortured. It strobed to more and more, and went on for a long minute and a half. Then I stopped watching, before suddenly stopping. The deep voice came back. I listened slowly to hear what was happening. The Empire will rise. The picture blacked out. It was replaced with an artist-like picture of a headless Mario. His clothes were bloody, and some parts were torn off. Now, if you'd like to explain to me what clothes are, then I could probably better understand this, but, I don't think that exists. The picture stayed on the screen for about 30 seconds, because stopwatches are an amazing invention that somebody created, before the screen began to blink white repeatedly. The woman's scream came back along with laughter. The laughter was mixed with people chanting the Empire. I fainted from fear. I then had a very strange dream. I was laying on the ground in a puddle of my own blood. I saw Mario coming. He was walking towards me, with an angry-looking toad head like before. I kept trying to tell him that I wasn't his enemy, but I was too weak to talk. I told he wasn't who I thought I was. Yeah, that's not English either, nice try though. Then I realized I was Birdo. And then I realized that I had to go shoot myself after reading the story. He jumped on me, just like in the game. I woke up before he started to attack. Mario was carved on my arm. Well, damn, it looks like you went full emo and tried to cut yourself during that dream. I ejected the game from my NES, grabbed it, and threw it in the street. I ran over it with my car, multiple times, until nothing was left but little pieces of plastic. I now understand why my brother killed himself. Yeah, because he came back from the dead and read his story and then killed himself again. Unless he didn't do it. Whatever was in that game would have done it itself. No, I think you missed another word again. I hope that I'll be alright. Yeah, I hope I'll be alright after reading the story as well. Although I think I messed up running over that game. You messed up releasing the story to the internet before spell checking it and actually learning English. And that was the story of Mario 2. Yeah, so I think we might have stolen from elements from other stories, such as stopwatch timings and reversed music, but, at least he almost tried, I hope. Either way, I think I'm just gonna go delete my internet connection so I don't have to go find any more of these stories, and then probably hop out of a window and commit crippling suicide. But yeah, have fun, praise the sun, see why sign nerds.